Hi, my name is Nir Eyal, and I'm the author of Indistractable, How to Control Your Attention and Choose Your Life. You know, many of us find ourselves getting distracted by all sorts of pings, dings, rings, all these notifications and technologies that make us do things we don't really intend. So over the past 5 years, I've researched what is it that drives us to distraction, and I uncovered some pretty surprising results, starting with the fact that distraction starts from within. And that's the first step to mastering distraction, is to understand what's called our internal triggers to figure out what it is that's driving us to get distracted in the first place. Then what we have to do is to make time for traction, to schedule our days to make sure we have time for traction as opposed to distraction. The next step is to hack back our external triggers. Then finally, we can remove these distractions by creating pacts and pre-commitments to make sure that we bar ourselves from getting distracted in the first place. So let me give you a few tips to becoming indistractable. The first step is to master our internal triggers. Now, internal triggers are these sensations, these feelings that we seek to escape. Remember, distraction starts from within us. And so what we are doing is when we use our devices, when we get distracted by something, is we are looking for escape from something that we don't like to feel. And so there are two solutions to this problem. The first, if we can, is to fix the source of that discomfort. Whether it's something at work that's bothering you in your personal life, if you can fix the problem, it must be fixed. But sometimes we can't fix every problem in our life. We have these negative feelings in our day-to-day lives that we can't always get rid of. So in those cases, what we need to do is to learn to cope. Let me give you a few practical tips for how we can learn to cope with these uncomfortable internal triggers. So for example, if you're feeling the pang of discomfort from boredom or loneliness or fear, fatigue, anxiety, what do when you feel that uncomfortable state? Well, psychologists tell us the first thing that we should do is to note that sensation. So inside Indistractable, I give you what's called a distraction tracker, where you can simply note exactly what it is that you're feeling. Now, many people will either become blamers or shamers. They'll blame the technology or the distraction, or they'll shame themselves and think that there's something wrong with them. But psychologists tell us that's the wrong approach. That in fact, it's not the technology. We shouldn't blame the technology or shame ourselves, but really we should look at the behavior itself. And what we want to do is to get curious about that internal state. What is it that we're feeling? Okay, I'm feeling bored right now, and that's why I'm turning to my device. Or this is a really hard project I'm working on, and so I'm checking email to take my mind off of it. And simply noting that sensation, getting curious about it, and then finally using what's called a 10-minute rule to do what psychologists call surfing the urge. Just giving yourself 10 minutes, and you can have permission to give it into whatever distraction you'd like, whether it's eating that piece of chocolate cake that you know you shouldn't have, or watching something on Netflix. If you give yourself just 10 minutes to get curious about that sensation, to note that sensation, think about it for a few minutes, at the end of those 10 minutes, if you still desire that distraction, you can allow yourself. Now, what this technique allows is that time to think about that sensation, and 9 times out of 10, you'll find that it crests, that sensation, that urge crests, and then subsides.